Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Thomas Lee. I am a digital content specialist at Mountain Travel Sobek, MT Sobek. A quick note before we get started, if you have questions that pop up over the course of the presentation, please enter them into the questions tab on the control panel, and we'll address them during a question and answer session at the end of the presentation. Without further ado, I will turn it over to our National Sales Manager, Aimee Graham.
Thank you, Thomas Lee, and good morning or good afternoon, everybody, depending on where you're at. My name is Aimee Graham, and I am the National Sales Manager for from MT Sobek. I've been with MT Sobek just over a year and a couple of months. And if I haven't had the pleasure to get to meet you, I am located in Southern California, and I work remotely from here from our Emeryville office. So I am hoping to either see you along the way on the road or at a show or in your office one day. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome you to MT Sobek's presentation on selling adventure travel with MT Sobek and through the adventure market. So I'd like to start with just the MT Sobek's who we are. And so we are known as the originators in adventure travel. Back in 1969, Mountain Travel opened its doors. We had three adventurous mountaineers who came up with the idea to create business out of their wanderlust for the world. And we've been guiding adventurous travelers on groups and private journeys the globe for now almost 50 years. Our passion runs deep for exploring the world, but also for being global citizens and also taking clients with us. We do operate on every continent, and we offer 200 small group adventures and custom created journeys. MT Sobek also is the trusted partner for National Geographic Expeditions. We also operate Smithsonian Journeys and also the New York Times Journeys. So MT Sobek's why. I love the why of MT Sobek, because as Simon Sinek says, people do not buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And at MT Sobek, we realize that everyone defines adventure differently. Every person has a sort of feel for adventure in their life. And we kind of think that where we go with our journeys, we custom and we cater to every adventure that's out there. So everyone being different, whether it's the hiker or the rafter, the foodie, the animal lover, or the people watcher, we know that adventure spirits are different. They have passion, and regardless of what they do in life. We believe in working with local career guides who are destination experts and that are hospitality gurus and can deliver what we expect for our clients to see as an adventure. And then we believe in the camaraderie and the connections that come out of the adventure travel space, which is when you are a little bit outside of your comfort zone and you want to feel that you are feeling the culture of that area. That's what our guides can bring to you. We also believe in conservation and sustainable tourism. That being said, we want the destination to look the same that it does now for generations to come, and that we can share the passion and the exploration of travel with our children and our children's children. So with that, we support a few different conservation efforts, and you'll see that we do quite a bit of local efforts in our local communities across the nation. So what does an adventure traveler look like? And this is a really good question that I'm asked quite often, because an adventure travel doesn't have to be somebody that's looking to summit Everest, or if they're looking to do Patagonia. Adventure travel really looks like a passionate person that's active in the outdoors or in the space of Mother Nature. Age is a very, very hard question on this one, because I feel that age is not relevant to any adventure, as it really matters what the traveler's spirit is like. I just did our Dolomites hiking trip, and I was gone for 9 days hiking, thermal spas, great trip, lots of hiking. And the fastest hikers that were in my group were well into their 60s and some in their 70s. They put me to shame. I'm not too proud of it, but I will admit that they were well into their hiking game, a little bit more than me. So that being said, our typical traveler has a very large range in age. While we know our traveler is going to typically want to be with like-minded adventurers and expert guides, we also know that they're looking to achieve something, possibly a bucket list trip they didn't even know existed until achieved. something that they've set out in life to accomplish, and this trip has put them on the path to do so. They're going to embrace local experiences, cultural experience, cuisine, and things that the destination is going to offer over material objects. If they're on a shopping trip that's strictly for shopping, it's probably not an adventure traveler for us. So if they're looking for local markets and things of that nature, that's going to be more of our experiences. So small group travel, you're looking at doing a small group travel. Our departures range from 4 to 16 guests, and that's depending on the trip. Our expert team is always going to have a trip leader, and depending on the amount of guests traveling in the group, it's going to also have an expert guide. Our curated itineraries, they're comfortable. You're going to have comfortable accommodations, whether it's alpine lodges or local eco lodges, paradors. You're going to have local accommodations that make you really feel like you're in that destination and you're getting the best out of what the accommodations are in that local area. It's going to also include great food, finely tuned logistics. Again, with our 50 years of experience, that helps us create the most custom journeys for you, and then a spirit of camaraderie and adventure. If your client is not looking for a small group travel, we are able to create the custom FIT journey for them, and that can start anywhere from one person in that group until whatever the size of the group that you are looking for. So finding the right adventure for your client will help you determine what's best for your client, and we'll assist with all the proper physical abilities. A question that we get a lot is our journeys are definitely rated 1 through 5, so you'll be able to find that on the website of what defines a 1, a 2, a 3, and above. To also help you, our team is very familiar with the journeys. They've handpicked the trips and the hikes and anything that they're going to be doing on that journey, so they're able to give you the background of that. We want to use a conservative to make sure that your client succeeds in their journey. Obviously, started this journey for a reason, and we want to make sure that they do succeed and feel accomplished in it. We can look at options that some of the trips that maybe it may sustain from events that day if the remainder of the group is pretty active and maybe the client wants to sit it out, or you have a private family trip that's going, and moderate those different activities in that day for your clients. We like to set a clear expectation with your client that the itinerary, the activity level, the accommodations that they're staying in, the transportation, and also the food and the cuisine that they'll be expecting. This helps foster all the excitement for the trip, but it also sets their expectations into something that you're able to achieve and also overachieve. If you do not see the perfect adventure, again, let us know. We can create this for you and the destinations that we go to. We can create a trip that includes your accommodations, your meals, as well as your activities. And of course, regardless of their skill set, we're able to modify their activities to that. So as I mentioned, we are turning 50 years old, and you will hear us refer to us now as MT Sobek, and sometimes we still slip and say Mountain Travel Sobek, but MT Sobek is what we've been identified for many years. So we've really just shortened the name to what everybody else already calls us. You'll see that we do have a new logo that represents our heritage from the past and also for the next 50 years going forward. We have refreshed and rebranded the website with a customer interface that you'll see. It's beautiful. And then we also have the ability online to custom curate any of our destinations offered with our FIT trips. There's a location for that I'll show you in just a moment. And then we do have 60 plus new adventures added to our portfolio that touch in 4 different channels of business, which we are excited to announce, and I will walk you through that now. As mentioned before, adventure is for everybody, so why aren't the kids allowed to come? We've definitely changed that for this adventure market. Offering family adventures. You'll see some of the locations in Botswana, Cataract, Costa Rica, Croatia, which is, as we all know, a big request these days. Epic family adventures in the Austrian Alps. Again, where I just came from is the Dolomites, which if you can bring kids, I think it's absolutely a gorgeous place to have a family. South Africa, and then Southwest and Thailand. And you'll see a lovely picture of Kim, our CEO, to the right with her twins. They just got back from Africa, and that was actually on a family safari. So I like to, even if she probably doesn't know she's in there, throw her in there. And then women's adventures. This has probably been my most requested itineraries thus far, just because I do feel that this is something that the adventure market has not really pushed for as of now. We have quite a few different locations, anything from Norway to our own backyard of California, coast to crest, Patagonia, and then the Cataract, which I think is going to be a great rafting trip. Adventures for Women are great. It touches on the girl power of camaraderie, but also for women that may not have their spouses with them anymore, they're widowed, or they like traveling with their sisters or their girlfriends. This is really the opportunity for them to feel empowered and have the friendship made from sometimes being a solo traveler or traveling with your girlfriends and being around a bunch of women who all feel like accomplished for doing the same thing that you've done. This is one of my favorites, and I struggle with this because we've always been foodies. All of our trips really do, and we always enjoy food. I will tell you, there's nobody that walks around hungry on our trips. I've actually gained 4 pounds on my trip, which I'm not very proud of. But flavors and cultures you're going to see in our new food and cuisine, our food and wine tours. So with that, we have flavors of Peru, Istria to Veneto, which I just sat through a presentation on that is one of the most fascinating itineraries. If you have a moment to check that one out, you'll see it online, and there's quite a few different things that are definitely for your culinary specialist. China's classic street food, flavors of Morocco. We've already had some clients booked on this trip, and then Taste of Provence. So these are some really great trips that will include maybe not as much activity as your ultimate adventure, but it will definitely be for the people that are looking for that food and that wine part of adventure. And then at least our wellness meets adventure. You'll see that we have launched quite a few different wellness trips for Dolomites, anything from Europe into our own backyard of Baja, which we are partnered with Canyon Ranch on, and that trip actually will be going next month starting. With the wellness trip, you can expect some yoga, some cycling, some hiking, and definitely some spa time, elegant eco lodges, cultural encounters, and then also just some meditation and different aspects of adventure that we have not always focused on through our adventure channels. And then walking you through MT Sobek's home. So this is our new website. If you haven't had the chance to explore, it's absolutely, to me, it's just gorgeous. I think that it's definitely more appealing to bring your clients in so that they're looking at adventure through a different eye. And so when you're walking through our website, suggested itineraries and custom curated, you'll find this under trips, and you'll be able to play around with the website. But just to walk you through a few of the different tools, I believe that this will help you when searching for your trips. Our first page under trips, you'll see you can search by destination or interest, and this will pull up itineraries for you, dates that the trips are going, and then if you do not see anything that you're absolutely looking for, there's an option to look for a custom trip, and you can learn more, and this will bring you to a page where you can work with our team on a custom itinerary. The next search option that will help you is under Adventure Finder. You'll see destination, which you can pick for your client. If they're interested in, say, Europe, you can see what we're offering there. Or if you know that they really want to go rafting and they're looking for a certain activity level, you can look strictly under rafting to see what we're doing in that interest market. Departure date, which is one of my favorites. I actually just used this for the first time this week. I had a client who's leaving over holiday, and they strictly have 9 days to go in December, and so I was able to pull the trips that we have during a certain period, and that actually saved some time off of us looking just for the clients, what they're looking for interest-wise, and just actually down to what she had available for her vacation time. You'll also see on here that we have a travel journal as well as our adventure journal that we do send out to the travel advisor market. Under the travel journal, you're going to find some great things, events, outings, but also some tips on selling adventure travel. So if it's, I do the screenshot because Yosemite sister parks. A lot of people don't realize that we do have national parks that actually have sister parks abroad. China is one of them, for instance, that your client, if they're into the national park scene, that's going to be a great trip for them to piggyback upon. So on this travel journal, it's definitely going to help you to stay inspired on adventure travel, and then also just give you some tools for selling experiential travel. And then the next thing you'll see is our local events that I mentioned. We've partnered with Outbound Collective as well as our own events to launch some local events, and not just in the California community, but all over the nation. So we've been to New York, we've been to Arizona. So this will actually give you some great ideas for you or your client who likes to do things more outdoors. And it's not just hiking. This is a cycling one that we did in wine country. There's all different types. It just depends where we are. So keep in contact with us, looking at that calendar to see what of interest that you could join us in on. And then last but not least, keeping in touch. Of course, if you are on an MT Sobek or if your client is on one of our trips, we would love to see your hashtags or your social media feed and pictures that feature. Or if you're just looking for what we've been doing lately, we have quite a few different opportunities for you to go through and look at our Facebook or Instagram that show you some of the trips. And then also one of my favorite is a YouTube channel that we've created that goes over our trips, and that also kind of gets a feel for what this trip might be. And while we don't have all 200 loaded on there, Thomas Lee, that introduced me, who's in charge of this, has been working very steadily on getting many trips loaded. So it is a valuable piece of information for me. As much as I would have liked to be on all 200 trips, Lord knows that I have to be in the office sometimes. So I would recommend this channel to kind of give you an overview of the trip, and I use it quite a bit as a tool in my everyday office. So with that being said, I will show you one of these, one of the trips for Hiking Wild Scotland, just so that you can see what this actually leads to, if it plays. And it may not play. Oh, here we go.
Saw two lovers find their way midsummer woodlands fair. The land sunshine on the lake, those two walked in silence there. Suddenly some word he spoke made her blush and smile. The waves of rippling laughter woke the drowsy air that dreamed their while. And all the voices seemed to say, world's just begun. The lovers newborn every day, love and harmony are one. She is my song, my solace and my joy. Soft wind rouse the trees from sleep, up from the birds as well. The river tumbled down the steep, with crystal music as it fell. And all the voices seem to say, the world's just begun. For love is newborn every day.
Our MT Sobek program. I will turn it back. This is a terrible picture of me, by the way. My marketing team put this in last night. This was actually in the Dolomites. And although it might be terrible, it was accomplished hike, so it brings back a great memory. But I will turn it back over now to Mr. Thomas Lee and let him answer any questions that we have. Again, my information is on the screen. Should you need anything, please feel free to reach out. I'm very happy to talk adventure and see what we can do to help build our partnership with you. And I will turn it back to you, Thomas.
All right, thanks, Amy. Once again, if you have any remaining questions, please feel free to enter them into the control panel questions tab. We have a few right now that we'll get to. The first one for you, Amy, is how do we find out about FAM opportunities through MT Sobek?
Okay, the question was, how do we find out about FAM opportunities through MT Sobek? And we do have an adventure journal that we publish to our travel advisor community and our business to business. So if you're interested on being on that mailing list, that's typically where we'll publish our FAM opportunities. We have recently in the past year just started doing FAM, and well, we've always had FAMs, but we've really started to push this to make sure that clients do put you on that. If you don't have my email, just email me over and make sure that you are on an adventure journal and that you're registered with us. I'm happy to help.
All right, thanks, Aimee. The next question that we have is, do we offer solo trips?
We do indeed offer solo trips. We're able to actually, if you have a solo traveler who's looking at traveling with us solo and is willing to share, we can help with a roommate for them. And or if you have somebody that's looking to travel solo and is not willing to share, we're absolutely happy to help in the solo portion.
All right, great, thank you. The next question is, do we offer trip insurance?
We absolutely do offer trip insurance. We operate our trip insurance through TripMate. So if you do have somebody that is with your consortia that is not TripMate, we're happy to either offer you TripMate, or obviously you can book your own insurance through your own partners.
Great, and the last one, which you've briefly touched on already, but how do we contact you to find out about a destination or a trip?
Well, my information's on the screen, so please feel free to contact me, or I can, and if you contact me, I will obviously get you in touch with the right regional specialist to help you start planning, or our information is, of course, online, or I can always send it to you.
Okay, the next question that we have coming in, do we have a travel agent portal?
We do. We've just launched it on the new website. It's actually on the bottom of the website. It's not the most robust travel agent portal right now as we're working on it. It is in our phase 2. This website is just launched in the past week and a half, I believe. So the next, or maybe 2 weeks, sorry. But in the next portion of this website, it will be more robust, but there is a travel agent portal. It's just not as robust as it will be in the future.
Okay, great, Aimee. And we'll just give a couple more seconds here if anyone has any last minute questions that they want to type in. All right, looks like we had one that came in last minute here. Which gal are you in the photo, Aimee?
The one that looks the most tired. I'm on the right-hand side, in the purple shirt. This was actually after the gentleman that was hiking with us, who was 74 years old, decided that we were going to skip the gondola, which was an option. Well, actually, the hike was supposed to take a gondola to the top, and then we were going to hike down. But Mr. Paul, who was 74, told me that he wasn't taking the gondola. So, of course, if he didn't take the gondola, I wasn't taking the gondola. And so that added an additional 3 miles onto the hike. So this was after Paul tried to take me out.
It's impressive.
But yeah, thank you. I'm the one in the purple. But thank you for joining us. You do have my email on the screen or my phone number direct. Please feel free to reach out and let me assist you in working and building our partnership together. We appreciate you joining. Have a great day.